where it takes place for, I'd say, 80% of the film. You know, John Cusack does some stuff, but it's all like this weird, like, desert background. And that's why I'm going to say the Vegas at the end feels odd.
Yeah. The fire chase?
Yeah, it just feels like it's a different movie.
I could do without that, but then it goes to Cyrus the Virus's death.
Right.
I mean, he's on a fire ladder. He gets shot through a catwalk. He lands on electrical wires, and then he falls onto a face stomper. That's just what I'm going to call it.
Yeah. I think it's the same face stomper that killed the Terminator in the original Terminator.
Yeah. I mean, had they just watched Goldeneye and just went, yeah. Like, I mean, what were they, like, we got to recreate a Sean Bean death? Like, what?
I don't know. And personally, I would have kept Cyrus alive.
It's just, but
he's such a great villain. I think that you keep him alive and then you have sequel written all over it. This thing is screaming for a sequel.
And it's just, okay, so I can buy that these prisoners would The Rock the military. They get the high ground, they surround him, they put him in a tube of death, and they blow him up, right?
Right.
But why is there a fire truck chase at the end? But okay, this is why. John Cusack and Nicolas Cage on motorcycles riding together. Now, this is Con Air. This is still the 90s, right? This 97. Yep. Now, Schwarzenegger's not as big as he was. Stallone is not as big as he was. Jean-Claude Van Damme isn't still there. Wesley Snipes is kind of going through some rough patches. Dolph Lundgren's doing direct-to-DVD films. So you don't have the burliest of action stars. I mean, this is kind of when the Christian Slaters have taken over, the Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, this is a product. If Speed doesn't happen, Con Air doesn't happen.
I agree. I mean, just the sense, like, I love the relationship between Annie and Jack in Speed. It's not, there's no damsel in distress. There's no, they're equals and they're cool. And he's like really nice. It's such a pleasant thing to watch, the two of them. And now, I think another thing I like about Speed is he doesn't have to get on that bus, but he does. In Con Air, he could have left, but he stays. So you have people that you can get behind. You have heroes you can get behind. And I think they both succeed in that. And it's just, I guess going back to the point is watching John Cusack and a very burly Nicolas Cage on police motorcycles chasing down Ving Rhames and John Malkovich on a fire truck.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, like that
should have been the Chips movie we should have got.
Oh yeah. That movie's weird. Did you watch Chips?
This is a deep cut into the Hodgins lifestyle. My most nostalgic television show from growing up is I would go home at lunchtime and eat lunch and watch Chips with my mom. And it was like such an endearing show to me. I have it all on DVD. My wife hadn't ever seen it. So when we were pregnant with our first child, I was like, they said plan for like a long labor. So I bought season 1 of Chips to watch when she was in labor. Like when labor starts, boom, Chips. And then when that movie came out, I watched it and I was like, this has none of the feel that Chips had. Like none of it. It's so weird to watch.
The only parts I remember liking are Michael Pena and his love of yoga pants. And then Adam Brody as a jerky cop.
Yeah, but none of those things were
Chips.
Like Chips things. That's just like a funny movie.
I guess they should have called it Motorcycle Cops.
They could have called it anything, but like if you're going to give me a Chips, like give me an Ernest Chips movie.
Yeah, that movie tanked.
Give me John Cusack and Nicolas Cage and Chips.
I mean, but just okay.
I'll make that poster. I'm making a list of posters to make. The Rocketeer. Who was in the Rocketeer?
It was Billy Baldwin.
Cage.
No. Oh yeah, Nicolas Cage. Yeah.
Nicolas Cage and Ericon. And then I'm going to make the Chips movie poster. Okay, we got some stuff happening.
I mean, watching just the two of them on motorcycles chasing John Malkovich down. Now, it does not belong in that movie. It almost feels like the train ride on Speed, where you're just like, here's the train scene again. And then you have, here's the bus scene again in Vegas.
Well, I also think that much like Last of the Mohicans, this is kind of an exhausting movie to watch. Like it really it's really like there's a lot going on, and I think by the time the motorcycle thing happens, I'm just so exhausted from the high stakes of the airplane that I don't know if I got anything left in me for it.
Don't get me started on Last of the Mohicans, man. That gets me emotional.
So I would say if I said to my father, pick the 5 best movies ever, he would look at me and say, son, I only need 3. And his 3 movies would be Con Air, Last of the Mohicans, and Sniper with Tom Berenger.
I mean, they're very effective movies that know exactly what they are, and they execute well on it. Now,
right.
I'm going to ask you a question.
I love it.
How long, did Cyrus the Virus build that model? And how long did it take him when he's giving the breakdown of the battle to the prisoners? Like, what's that? That's a rock. Did he pull each individual thing? Did he hunt down those Coke cans? What was his method, and did he do it himself?
No. I think he said to his lackeys, he says, go get me some stuff. And I think in a deleted scene, we saw him trying to describe what was going on, and nobody could follow. They just didn't get it. Mm-hmm. So then he was like, okay, get me some stuff. I need to put this in a very visual place so you guys can understand it. And so then, like, Johnny 23 and all his underlings went and got him stuff, and then he put it together in front of people.
Got it. Did he say stuff, or did he say knickknacks, or did he say tchotchkes?
He said, go get me some tchotchke, 100%.
Got it. Cool. All right, so how about this? Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we will talk more Con Air. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And if you don't mind, can I finish up the second half of the Con Air seating chart so we can get familiarized with every single character on the plane, except for the cops?
Yeah, hit me with it. Now,
can we give... I like Sally Bishop. She's really good. But can we give some props to Guard Falzon? Because he's quick. I wouldn't want to get into a pithy line competition with him because he's got him for days.
There is some good repartee in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what makes Cameron Poe stand out so much is that everything he says is so slow. He just takes his time. And everybody else in a world of like quick comebacks, he's the guy who's really taking his time to say something.
Oh, he's good. Okay. So in the cockpit, when they're taking off from Carson City, you have Diamond and Cyrus in there, then Swamp Thing, played by MC Gainey of Club Dread fame.
Swamp Thing is such a great character.
I love it. And then you have Sandino, who I always forget about Sandino. It's just, he has people but what I don't like about Sandino is that it takes a lot of the agency away from Cyrus because Sandino is just going to double cross him. And the only reason he gets found out is because Nic Cage saves them and John Cusack. Right. So it takes a little bit of the agency away from Cyrus. But then in 2B is Blade, played by Ty Granderson Jones, who helped me out a lot with this. Thank you very much by giving me the Ramirez names. And then in 2C, we have Carlos. Carlos, you would recognize anywhere. He's the one who gets killed in he's a big part of Sons of Anarchy. And he moved on to the other show, the Mayans. So he is Carlos. He's played by Emilio Rivera, big name now. Ajax is still.
So I'm a big Sons of Anarchy fan.
Nice. You like some Hunnam.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Now, Ajax is still alive. Sally Can Dance, played by Mr. Hackers and Mr. Dangerous Minds, which I love. And then we have, Mongoose in 3C. And then in 3D, we have Khan number 1. He's still alive. Then we have Ramirez, the extra with the hat. Then we have Viking, the guy who wonders about the rock. Conrad, the guy with the neck tattoo, stupidly yells, "Did we take the plane?" And then Johnny 23 and Bedlam are still standing. Then in the back of the plane, in door 3, we have Garland Green. And then we have Cameron Poe, Baby Odell, and Warlock, who's really annoyed about being burnt by Pinball. And he gets his revenge. Now, Charlie Hunnam, could he play Cameron Poe?
No, but he could play Cyrus the Virus.
After watching The Gentleman and Lost City of Z and Sons of Anarchy, yeah, that rhymed. It just makes me not like Pacific Rim at all. That movie,
right?
That performance I don't. Okay, Here's the thing, and I want to ask you something about these movies where a lot of people are like, yeah, I hate. First of all, I hate when people complain about child actors. That child actor was terrible. It's like you're a terrible person. Like, why would you say a child gave a horrible performance? But you watch these movies where there's bad performances. In these big films, there are casting agents, there are producers, there are directors, there are editors. So when people are like, oh man, that person's terrible in that movie, that actor sucks, and you're kind of thinking, well, like maybe they weren't ready for like that's like taking me and putting me on an NHL team. Like people can't say I suck at hockey because I've never played it. Right. It's not fair, right? It's a Hayden Christensen type thing. So I think it comes.
Well, I liken it to when people were like, Christian Bale's voice in The Dark Knight was stupid. I'm like, yeah, but the director didn't tell him to stop.
Mm-hmm. It's like no one just sat there and watched it and went, yeah, we could do something better. And
yeah,
that's why I don't know where I'm going at this, but Charlie Hunnam in some of these movies are like, yeah, he sucks. I was like, I don't know. In Pacific Rim, no one really walked away except for Idris Elba looking strong. So I feel like Pacific Rim, all the dialogue was written during an all-nighter, and then all the world was built during the year before it.
But I also think in Pacific Rim, it was like, we've got these big robots punching each other. What else do we really need? And we're like, write some kind of script around it. Like, it's got the big robot factor, so we're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
The fans of big robot movies are going to like this robot movie.
Yeah. I can't get behind it. I'm going to ask you 5 questions about Con Air, and you're going to answer them.
Ooh, I love this.
Are you garrulous, loquacious, verbose, effusive, or chatty?
Chatty.
Okay. How many copies of Nathan Jones' book sold?
Ooh. I'm going to say, I'm going to answer the question as best I can. I'm going to say like 100,000 copies sold, but like one person read it and is going to commit a huge terrorist act based on the book.
Oh, I like that. Now, when Cameron Poe's in prison, what does he learn how to put together?
Other than origami?
Just origami. You got it. Perfect. Now, let's see. What else do we go? Let's see. I got other questions. I got. Oh, what kind of car does Cole Meany drive?
He's talking about his like 67 Corvette.
No, geez Louise. Okay.
With
now,
the ass kicker license plate.
If Johnny 23 wasn't Johnny 3, what would his real name be?
I think he goes by Jonathan.
No, I'd be Johnny 7000. Doesn't he say that?
Yeah, he does. He does say that. I think he's more of a Jonathan. He's one of those guys like, hey, John, actually, it's Jonathan.
Actually, I don't have the correct number. I figured you'd have it, so I feel silly now.
I think it's Johnny 6000.
Johnny 6000, got it. Like Short Circuit.
Yeah.
Like Short Circuit. Oh, there's so many actors in this, man. This makes me happy. And this movie,
it's a huge cast, especially like looking back at it, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, the people that they pulled together. I mean, Bruckheimer was hot at the time.
Yeah.
I would say. So what led all these? Like, is it just you do these movies so you can make your own movies? Like, why is Malkovich in this movie?
I think Malkovich is in it because I think he is a little bit like Sam Jackson, where he just doesn't say no because he's in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he's done some funky flicks. No, that makes sense.
I think he's just like, I'm just gonna do my thing.
Now, why did this movie? Okay, so Face Off pulled in 128 million. The Rock pulled in 202 million. Why did Con Air make less than both of those at 120? You know, like why did it make less? So the totals are The Rock 134, Face Off 112, Con Air 101, domestic. Worldwide 128 for Face Off, 123 for Con Air, or 241 for Face Off, 224 for Con Air, and 336 for The Rock. So why did The Rock make so much money? And
Sean Connery for sure.
Do you think the pairing of Travolta and Cage carried Face Off to the second highest total?
100%. Travolta had a a huge audience going into that movie. So I think he had a bigger following